Okie dokie. We are back, folks. I see people coming in. We got the prodigal Hegelian. Oh, Sir Darren Nat of the Hungry Panda. Paper Sword. Lizzie Moz. Rung Smash. One Lousy Petunia. Salt Ball. Everybody's popping in. We got YouTube. We got Twitch. We got Rumble. Everything's looking good. Dento Bean. Okay. Yes, folks, it's here. I'm back. It's weird. It's weird to be back. I'm in the metaverse, flying around in the first time I've been wearing a VR headset in over a month. So that's a little weird. Still kind of getting used to it. Not gonna lie, folks, a little nervous to be back on the show, but I'm excited. It's the good kind. Thank you, everybody, for being so supportive. I wouldn't say I'm back at 100%. But it was time to come back, and that last little bit of weakness that I feel in my voice and in my brain, the only way to get it back is to start doing the show, I think. So that's what we're doing here. Thank you, Enoch87 Bear, for the greetings. Thank you, Denise. Who else we got? Yes. Hello. Interesting. I'm not seeing anybody over on Rumble, but I have traditionally had some issues with Rumble, so hopefully it's working for everybody. Miss G Beauty in the house. Okay. Dento Bean asks, happy for you, Basil. Are you wearing a coyote skin cloak? I wish. I cannot believe I am still on the hunt for that coyote. It's going to be sort of a long running storyline, I'm sure. I mean, it has to be to make up for the loss of the propaganda rooster. This is not the last we've heard of the coyote. Who knows? Maybe the coyote is a force for truth, and he's dismantling the systems of propaganda that the propaganda rooster propagated. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Sandra says, so good to hear your voice, Basil. Much love. Thank you. Okay, I think it's time to get the show started. So that's what we're going to do. Remember, folks, all the things. Support the show if you can. We understand. And just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is June 14th, 2023. We are live to tape on episode 633. And today, Basil's back better, baby! Signing on from Off the Grid. It's me, your best buddy Basil. Oh yeah, razzle dazzle. Almost nailed it.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films. Wife calls me the Cabana Boy, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomena is back together. Combined forces. We need to do the Dragon Ball Vegeta Goku move with the fingers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We join forces. Yeah. We got to do that.
Okay, let's do it. Here we are. We're doing it. We're surrounded by sort of fighting energy, and it's gonna get a little rowdy, folks. I'm back. I'm feeling good. If you missed the pre-show, I'd say maybe like sitting at a 97%.
Whoa!
Sort of like the percentage of scientists who are warning us about climate change. Totally made up number. 97% back. I've been talking. I've said it in my previous recordings. Feeling good. Still feeling a little weak in the voice department. My diaphragm is all cramped up. Still cramped up now. But I figured the only way to truly recover would be to get back to business. So I'm happy to be here. Gons, you've been doing a great job. Interesting thing. I actually listened to the Christian nationalism episode of Canary Cry Radio on Friday. Yes, I thought you did a wonderful job. I was very pleased. With the job you did, ruffling feathers, not letting anyone off the hook.
Yeah,
I was very proud. You did a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you actually listened. I was kind of worried that you're gonna have a 17-point critique of all the things that I failed to either mention or cover properly.
No. It's good stuff. So I guess we'll spend a little bit of time just kind of catching up. But what do we do here? We have a disclaimer. Do we still do the disclaimer?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Are you ready for the
Are we on YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't even know if we're on YouTube.
I think we are, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we got a strike while you were out, so that's some kind of weird miracle in itself.
That says something, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. Here's a fun thing, Gons. Before I go into the rundown, did you report while I was gone on the changing YouTube election misinformation policies?
Yes, the Jan 6 stuff. Yeah.
It
was kind of a theory.
Yeah, they're preparing.
That they're going to, the Democrats are going to lose, and so they're going to allow the election is rigged conversation to take place.
Yeah,
because
little repeat of 2016.
Yeah.
2016, the whole Russiagate thing. It's funny. Sure. Yeah, they're opening up. Okay, so in that spirit, let me give you a little rundown.
Oh no, King Basil.
One random story.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Okay, here we go. Well, we're going to start out at the top of the show, kind of going through the last month, some of the what's been happening. What did I miss? What was on my mind? What was on my list to bring to the show, if indeed I was? So you'll get a nice, if you've been gone from the show for a month, you're going to get a nice sort of full picture of what you've missed going on in the world. Well, that's what we'll be doing. And then, of course, we'll be checking in with Flippy. Flippy's on the plane, baby. And does he have sharp objects? We will find out. CRISPR making its way through the FDA. Big signal to CRISPR Therapeutics. Then, of course, we'll be touching on Trump. Oh, man, does he have a lot of years ahead of him. A lot of years possibly in jail. We will be
he's gonna be the first
checking in on the details.
The first one to live forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll upload him into digital prison, apparently. Then we'll be checking in with some wonderful updates from Bohemian Grove. Back in the news over in sfgate.com. We'll check that out. Bill Gates, our globalist buddy, is going to go over, meet with President Xi. What will they be talking about, and what is the point? Some updates on Taiwan, U.S., both the U.S. and China preparing for their war in 2027. But what is the U.S. doing to prepare Taiwan? We'll find out. And then some big news in COVID world as far as the creators, manufacturers, some legal problems when it comes to the vaccine. Some big updates there. That's good. And then Gons is bringing some very important video game updates at the end of the show, Gons. But first, let's turn that folding chair backwards and rap.
I'm not quite sure what the thing is, but yeah.
Neither do I. But a lot happened. A lot happened over the past month.
Yeah, you were out for a month, a little over a month actually, and it was very interesting for me to make a list here of some of the top stories that you missed in this 1 month.
Watching the world go by. And, I had my phone. I was in the hospital for an ungodly amount of time, laying there, doing nothing, got nothing to do, except for I'm on the phone or mostly sleeping or something. But I would still get all my news pings. I was reading news the whole time. And it gave me an interesting perspective. There's people, they take, as we often actually recommend, if people feel like they need to, take a break from the show. The show can be it's a lot of information, it's a lot of stuff to think about, and sometimes you're in a place in life where you just can't handle it. So take a break if you got it, folks. But for me, taking a break from the show,
touch grass,
go outside,
chase coyotes,
do some gardening, right? Just don't go to the hospital though. That's annoying. But it gave me a weird perspective on what it's like to not listen to the show for a month. And the world we live in today is almost entirely different from the world we lived in when I went to the hospital.
The world was one way, and then
it was bizarre.
You had an operation, and then the world was another way. Are you sure you're not in some different timeline?
I don't know. I could have split timelines. Yeah. It's possible.
How would you know?
All right. So why don't you give me a rundown of some of the stories that went down, and I'll just stop you if there's something I have to say. I'm not planning on spending too much time, but let's do it.
Okay,
just tell me what happened.
All right, so a quick hits list of the things that happened. This might be something that we can do at the end of each month, maybe to sort of wrap up some things.
Month wrap.
The month wrap. So Zelensky met with the Pope, and the Pope gave him a sculpture of an olive branch. And then we dove into some of the esoteric meaning behind that. Newsweek.
I love that Zelensky. All he wants is guns. He just wants guns. He wants more guns. He wants tanks. He wants F-16s. He's just going around asking world leaders for weapons of mass destruction. And he goes visits the Pope, and he's given an olive branch. I'm sure Zelensky was not as grateful as maybe he put on for the TV.
Well, there was a little note in the card, the thank you card for coming with the code to activate the olive branch.
Yeah, I was going to say,
device
this olive branch. This nuclear olive branch will help me against my battle against Putin.
Yeah, so that happened. Newsweek reported that China was accusing the Pentagon of making a race-specific bioweapon. Did you catch that one?
Yes, I caught this one. I mean, I believe it makes sense. Yeah,
sure.
But it was a perfect triggering device for okay, sure, COVID was made in a lab. Sure, it's a bioweapon, but it's a bioweapon. It's a racist bioweapon. Right. Take that, American liberals, and run with it.
Right. Okay, so WorldCoin, the iris scanning crypto project by Sam Altman, the OpenAI, ChatGPT. He got $100 million of investment for WorldCoin, and then he testified in D.C. A week later, he goes to Bilderberg, and as he's doing all this, D.C. is up in arms and trying to come up with AI regulation, all based on Sam Altman's testimony. So they're kind of hailing him as some kind of AI guru, policymaker. Interesting.
So it's interesting. I said I wasn't going to say something about everything, but I'm going to now. It's weird because we were covering WorldCoin and the orb years ago. Years and years ago. It was so obscure, and that's so kind of why we liked talking about it. It was ridiculous and obscure, and didn't think anybody would care about it. But his involvement in ChatGPT brought him to the top of the pile. Yep. He's king of the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how he's top of the mountain because of ChatGPT, and then he's kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, everybody, my cool orb will identify every living being, and we could do a cryptocurrency. And everybody's like, we don't really care. We like your AI stuff, but sure, if you want stuff for your orb. Listening to other big shows, just now starting to report on WorldCoin, and
freaking out,
they
like
all
having a meltdown.
They all try to make jokes about the orb. They all want to talk about the orb, and it's like, come on, guys, the orb has been a staple here on this show for many years.
And actually,
so.
we were probably one of the only people that connected, the Chinese orb in the sky, the balloon, to the WorldCoin orb. At least I was doing that because I'm weird.
And
so
the glowing orb with the Saudis and Trump, touching the glowing orb. Yeah.
Fetterman made some blunders while he was at a public hearing. Nobody understood what he was saying. It was kind of sad actually to see him kind of stumble around.
I did watch that. No comment. Just give that man a VR headset. He needs his treatment.
Give him his treatment and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs and Microsoft teamed up to form their own blockchain called Canton. Looking forward to that.
This one I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Goldman Sachs and Microsoft, pretty big players.
Yeah, great. Nothing can go wrong there.
Microsoft has their patent 060606, biometric crypto mining device or whatever that they patented a couple years ago.
Right.
And then so
now
Goldman
they're connecting
Sachs,
it to the banking system.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs comes in, and this will become a bigger issue as we tackle other stories today. 60,000 pounds of explosive chemicals went missing. Yeah,
probably used to start fires in Canada.
But hey, we didn't make that connection. There you go. Boom, boom.
That's my question. It was like a week later, you have all the fires in Canada coming out of nowhere. Who knows?
That's true.
Who knows?
Good call. At the same time, this was right about the same day, senators were issued satellite phones for some kind of blackout in communications.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, Congress. Welcome, senators. Hello.
Yeah, don't you think they had...
Preppers are way ahead of this.
Well, I was going to say, didn't they have a contingency plan already? Why are they reporting this? Like this must be a thing forever, having some kind of backup communications.
Maybe they didn't.
Really?
Maybe they didn't. Or it's just messaging. It's probably just
That's what I'm saying. It's just weird that it was reported.
Yeah.
Okay, FDA did a PSA. It was a video, and it mocked cyber pandemics. Did you see the video?
I did not know.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Yeah, it was a whole thing of, they kind of made these fake truther videos of like, oh, the internet's going down, and it's spread on Facebook and Twitter and disinformation, and it was pretty ridiculous.
The FDA, why would the FDA do that? What does that have to do with anything?
Because it's the FDA, bro. They control everything. Didn't you know? It's lizard people, one of their fingers. The FDA.
Yeah. Kind of just is kind of a general social engineering towards, against anything WEF, anything Klaus Schwab says.
Yeah.
Because, Klaus Schwab was the one who talked about the cyber pandemic.
Yeah.
And of course, they've spent years now trying to gaslight us into thinking that Klaus Schwab didn't specifically invent the term Great Reset and didn't talk about 15.
Didn't have a book titled Great Reset.
He wrote a book about it, and they keep trying to gaslight us into thinking that he didn't. And that kind of sounds like this. I mean, he invented cyber pandemic, and now FDA is trying to make us feel crazy. Yep. I love it.
Yep. We're almost halfway through the list, everybody.
Okay.
An illegal immigrant from the Indian American community in Chesterfield, Missouri, drove to D.C., rammed a U-Haul into the fence around the White House, threatened to kill Biden, and, of course, he had a Nazi flag in his van. So that happened.
Yeah.
A clear assassination attempt.
All I can say is equity and inclusion. It's anybody can be a Nazi. Doesn't have to be white people.
Equal opportunity Nazi community.
There you go. Biden's America.
Mm-hmm. DeSantis announced his presidential run on Twitter Spaces with Elon hosting. This thing almost broke Twitter. There was millions of people tuning in at once.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about that. Whatever you got to do, man. I hope more people do it. I know Elon once extended the invitation to anybody. Yeah. Not a whole lot of people taking him up on it, though.
Well,
the Tucker thing is interesting.
Yeah, so we did a kind of a breakdown while you were out because, of course, back in February, Elon Musk was seen with Murdoch at the Super Bowl. They were having a little chit chat because they're watching the football, and then you see Tucker leaving Fox. You see Elon pick up, get more into the Twitter situation and creating a platform out of it and everything. And now you have Tucker on Twitter, which is his new show. And then you have DeSantis, who's making his announcement with Elon. So there's like this weird alt media being constructed, sort of a fork.
Almost into a new mainstream.
Yeah, the Murdoch is sort of
established mainstream.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. And I've been pointing out that perhaps all of it is a way to try to move the vote away from Trump. And obviously, everyone wants to not have Trump be the president when it comes to the establishment. So for the Republicans, you get DeSantis out there, and then you also have RFK Jr. taking votes away because of the vaccine issue. And he's a Democrat, so it really kind of messes with things. So it seems like, yeah, they're really creating a purposeful alt media that will become, it's becoming mainstream. So it's not really that alt anymore. But
yeah, it's just weird. It's totally disconnected. I have a feeling it has the potential to be just as sort of profit centric and, secret plan motivated. It's just kind of wrapped in a different package, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. Our buddy Chris Licht stepped down from CNN. There was a big old hit piece on him. That was big. Yeah, it was humongous.
That was big. Yes, the hit piece, the Trump thing.
Yeah, the meltdown.
I think this was always a possibility. We were sort of, I don't know. I think I allowed myself to be too optimistic about the change in CNN. Of course, they just murder the sort of revolutionary CEO and his like attempts to find some middle third way through the corporate news swamp. But the second they had the opportunity, they took him out. So CNN's going back to, well, good old CNN, I think.
Well, it's funny because so much of their revenue was based on Trump hate. And, he comes in there and tries to change it. Or not him specifically. He was specifically, but at the direction of the Discovery people.
Yeah. And, the revolutionaries, man. You got to watch out. They're the first to get taken out.
So, yeah, we theorized about where he was going to go next. Maybe he's going to join the Trump train, That would be an interesting play.
News Nation, baby.
News Nation. All right. Cat murderer in UK. There's the thousands of cats that were decapitated. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think pineal gland harvesting of cats happening in the UK. So
yeah, well, cat pineal glands, famously powerful tools to travel dimensions. So what are you going to do?
ChatGPT sermon, a full sermon in Germany. We covered it in the last episode. Hundreds of people showed up at some Gothic church over there. I think it was a Presbyterian church or something. And
interesting.
Yeah, and what was funny was all the excuses they had of like, oh, it wasn't, some of the parts were not good. They didn't show emotion. And we talked about how the barriers are not very compelling, like the stuff that they were like, oh, it's not, here's why it wasn't good. It's like, yeah, they already have better technology than what they're discussing in the article. Sure, but yeah, so I don't know. Another big thing, which is something we've been tracking for a while, which is all this worship stuff with AI. NVIDIA reached $1 trillion market cap.
Yeah, not a good sign for Taiwan, yeah. Companies. Yeah, American. What exactly are they? They're the hardware company. Yeah. Do they make chips? Superconductors or?
I think they're. Yeah, I think they make chips.
Chips and drivers and cards and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the money moving, which seems like a posturing for what might happen with Taiwan. Of course, Biden tripped on a sandbag on a stage.
Sandbag gate. Yes, sandbag gate. Man, here's the thing. I don't like watching old people fall. It's not fun to do. It's not cool, but man, you can't look away, can you? It's just sort of a part of our nation's DNA now is to just constantly watch old guy fall. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with it, but what are you going to do? He's going to do it. He's the president.
Yeah. He also missaid transgender. I forget what it was.
Yeah, transgester.
Transgester.
The transgester people. That was not a good look for the old Biden.
The truth
there.
Comes out. Well, the Trump indictment. We'll talk about some of that today, so I guess we'll save that one. Alex Jones said that Elon Musk is the Antichrist.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, it's always a good sign that Alex Jones says anything.
I mean, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm glad he's still out there doing his thing.
And then, talk about the world was one way, and then, it's another way when you're back here. There was one of the biggest whistleblower stories maybe ever. Intelligence guy came out, said that there are non-human intelligence technologies in the hands of government, and they've even killed maybe some of our people, and
they have pilots, they have crafts. This is like the biggest.
This is like a Standeo episode.
I mean, it's hilarious because he's like, no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen pictures.
This is what I've been told.
But this is what people tell me. People tell me this, and I believe them. So it's got a great psyop aspect to it because he can say kind of whatever he wants because it's secondhand. It's all secondhand. He doesn't have any reputation really on the line at all. He's just saying, yeah, my buddies told me this. Haven't seen it. But that's what they told me. So I smell a bit of a psyop there.
We were pointing out how on the very first episode of Tucker on Twitter, his whole sort of point about what's happening with media and everything shifted into, this intelligence guy who leaked info and he's a whistleblower. And the quote, I'm not even kidding. He said, he seems credible. He's telling the truth. And it was like, whoa, okay. Right. So you're just straight up saying that this other messaging going on is true. So yes, obviously you are the tip of the spear for this new narrative building platform in Twitter and Tucker on Twitter and all this kind of stuff. It's like, all right.
The Tucker psyop connections are very suspicious. And yes, for him to gain the trust of tens of millions of conservatives or independents on the internet and then just say like, yes, the UFO stuff is true. He is not lying because I am Tucker. Right. Okay, Tucker, thank you.
Well, the other thing, just as a side note that I noticed was because of this story, the Genesis 6 Nephilim Sons of God conversation has re-exploded on the internet, or at least on Twitter. I'm seeing so many people having this discussion. And because a lot of people are, a lot of Christians are jumping out and saying, it's all demons. And, people are asking like, well, what do you mean it's just all demons? And we talked about a little bit of that while you were out too. But there's there's like a boost in Nephilim Sons of God interest, which is our lane. Yeah. We've been sitting there for a while.
They've got the simulation plugged directly into old episodes of Canary Cry Radio. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, while all that was happening, there was a big sonic boom that was heard across DC.
Ghost plane.
Ghost plane, yeah.
The thing I loved about Ghost plane, this was the plane that flew over Washington and wasn't responding, so they scrambled some jets to go intercept, and those jets went supersonic, which hit the and what I loved was the military came out with immediately after it, they came out and said, yes, we were doing some drills, and the sonic boom was some of our plans that went, some of our planes that were doing drills. And then it was like 4 hours later, they were like, no, just kidding. It was a ghost plane. We were protecting the nation.
Even that might have been, you never know. It was probably the Flash. Breaking the sound barrier, chasing after some criminal, but they can't say that. So
the turnaround on the propaganda was just incredible to watch. It was almost supersonic in how fast they had to change their story.
The story itself made a sonic boom. All right, and then one more here before we jump into your stuff. It's aliens in the Las Vegas backyard. Police, their vest cam or whatever, they caught the ball of fire coming down, and then a couple minutes later, people are calling and saying that there's 10 feet tall people in their backyard and they're looking at them. And,
I heard the recordings. I mean, it's interesting because there's people making claims like this all the time, every day around the entire country, maybe even the planet. But for this one to gain such traction in the media.
The timing with the whistleblower as well.
Right.
Because even in the reports we broke down, the guy was like, well, one of these guys the whistleblower guy is saying that they have programs to retrieve technology when they fall out of the sky. Maybe this is that. And it's like, oh, wow, really? This is a perfect example of that. Most people watching are going to say, oh, yeah, that's what was going on here. Even the police saw the ball of fire.
Yeah, the video I saw was interesting. They had blurred out the backyard. When they go into the backyard.
Yeah, because of the privacy.
Which is weird. Like, okay, why are you blurring out the grass?
They claimed that it was because it was private property and they didn't want to.
They do claim that, but what other body cam video have you ever seen?
40-inch footprint?
I'm just saying, any other body cam footage of a cop, it's almost always on private property.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything blurred out.
The other thing that I mentioned at the time was that nobody reported on what happened to them. Like, they saw them? Did they run away? Did they disappear? Did they fly up into the sky? Like, where did they go?
Oh, yeah. I never got a good follow-up either.
I don't think anybody reported on that. And I saw one person in the chat say that they prayed and they ran away. And it was like, okay, maybe. I don't know. But
they shape-shifted into lizards and dug a little hole in the ground and disappeared.
And they went after the propaganda rooster.
Quick, aliens, take form of trash pandas. Okay. Yes, that was all very good. Caught up. There's so much more too. Just some things that I was obsessed with at the time that I didn't bring to the show. The Atlantic had a great social engineering article about it's a weird time to be a doomsday prepper.
Oh.
And it's kind of had this strange positive spin on doomsday prepping. Because it's like, we all know preppers. They're ready for a nuclear winter. They're ready for the collapse of society. They're ready for this. But what they're not ready for is AI.
Oh, God.
Like, how do you defend against AI? You can't stockpile much of food for AI. I'm like, okay, guys, sure. Okay. The mainstream media started highlighting the Nazis in Ukraine. They started kind of trying to
be objective about it.
Be like, so everybody knows it, right? Even the left, they know that there's Nazis in Ukraine, and it was like about time to get some answers. And so Vice had a great article, like, yeah, there's Nazis in Ukraine, but it's not the same Nazis you're thinking of. They're different Nazis.
Is that is that Soros cleaning up the old Vice news there? He's going in. And I don't think we reported on it, but there was a story that George Soros is handing off, I think it was his $28 billion empire over to Alex Soros, his son.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
And
that would make sense.
The Soros Foundation came out like a month ago and said that something about it's a great time for people or the rich to enter crypto or something like that. So
that's hilarious. We've had
on.
Quite the dip the past couple of days, but it's just a matter of time.
Oh, yeah. They're buying it up.
Just a little thing. COVID cranking back up in China, allegedly. Again, at the same time, Xi is trying to lock down his whole country for war. 2027, 65 million COVID cases reported by NBC. The Bible was banned from Utah school districts.
Really?
Yeah, apparent. So it was in response to some banning of like trans books for children, and some chuffed parents came in and said, yeah, well, the Bible has violence and incest and sexual scenes and all this stuff, so we should ban that. So they banned it in schools. I think it's middle schools and younger. It's still in high school because teens. China's digging a 10,000 meter hole. That's 33,000 feet.
Yep.
In case anybody was wondering.
We touched on, or maybe we skipped it. I know it was on the doc.
Yeah, there wasn't much there. It's just a cool 33 update.
Yeah.
The U.S. Openly stockpiling dirt on all its citizens. The U.S. is prepping. Is prepping. It's nothing we wouldn't actually know about. It's just the documents are now released that, they're just sort of saving all of our information for later. Good. It's a nice little control mechanism. Now, here's something that came out, Gons, and you might not have the experience of this, but I know the Canary Cry gamers out there, maybe they saw this story, maybe they didn't. But Gons, there's a character in video games. He's an older character back from the NES days. His name is Captain Falcon, and Captain Falcon is a race car driver originally. He's like a futuristic race car driver from a game called F-Zero. And recently, in my generation, Captain Falcon came back with a bang by being featured in a game series called Super Smash Brothers. And this is a fighting game, but you can choose, like, it's filled with a collection of Nintendo characters. So you'd be wondering, like, what if Mario got in a fight with Link from Zelda? Or what if Pikachu got in a fight with Captain Falcon? Something like this, right? That's kind of the whole idea of the game is wrapped around that. Well, Captain Falcon is this strange race car driving man who has been featured in lots of games recently. And he's sort of amorphous. He's just kind of like a strong man who races cars. That's his power. But recently, in an interview, he was the creator of Captain Falcon. I don't have his name right in front of me. Was asked, so, like, where does Captain Falcon's power come from? What gives Captain Falcon his power? And the creator of Captain Falcon, a character created like 35 years ago, maybe even more, is a Japanese man. Mm-hmm. And this Japanese man admitted that Captain Falcon's power comes from his strong faith in Jesus Christ.
It's got to be biblical.
So there you go. Captain Falcon fans out there. Captain Falcon is a devout Christian, and his faith in Jesus Christ gives him his very good fighting power.
And his really buff thighs. His thighs are just bulging.
Yes. He doesn't have like a lot of remarkable things about him. He wears an ascot and a helmet and has big muscles and just does punches and kicks, but he does them with the love of the Lord giving him power. Just a bombshell for gamers out there. And then last but not least, Apple Vision Pro, baby. Apple VR. Yeah. It's VR. Happening. It's happening. Apple VR. The media is exploding with mostly hate for Apple VR. Talking about how
it's for the common man or woman. It's for the elite.
No, that's right. My favorite article about Apple VR was, again, from The Atlantic. And it was the Apple's Vision Pro is the perfect product for the apocalypse. And talking about, they try to make a point like we shouldn't be trying to put more screens in between us and the world. Climate change, wars, the world is falling apart. We need less screens. And Apple's just trying to overlay beautiful blah, 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 blah over the end of the world, which was another Atlantic article sort of conjuring the idea of the apocalypse and of the end of the world, which they've done repeatedly over and over and over in the past month. I think that's an interesting trend I want to keep an eye on. But yeah, so Apple Vision Pro, they came out with their VR heads. Well, it's not out, comes out next year, but they did their keynote on it. Everybody's got something to say. I'm not going to lie. I think it would be very helpful for me in particular. I've been working exclusively in VR for quite some time, and I am open. I am open to seeing what Apple's got to bring to the product. Now,
how many VR podcasters do you think exist currently?
I believe, I honestly believe that I am still the only one. There are content creators who focus on VR, but they're mostly like Twitch streamers. They're playing games. They're kind of making maybe funny content or something like that. I'm not the only content creator, but I consider myself strictly a podcaster who strictly podcasts in VR, which has been a weird thing. It's been, I've gotten a lot of hate for it. A lot of people think that I've got the mark of the beast. A lot of people, have problems with not seeing my face. A lot of people think that the googly eyes on the outside of my VR headset kind of give the impression that I don't take anything seriously, which is not like the furthest thing from the truth. But, they're very mad that I'm not taking the Illuminati as seriously as they are, stuff like this. So it's not like it's been the most positive experience. Yeah,
you just put a target, and I, by I kind of got dragged into it. I didn't really have a say or anything. You're just like, yeah, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to put the googly eye on. And I was like, all right, let's roll with it. It's what it is. And so I didn't realize I was going to have an association with this issue. And then when I put you on the Face Like the Sun channel, man, were people mad.
That was great.
Man, were people mad.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful part of our brand, I think, that we are both completely out of control in our own ways. And how something like affects the brand is almost never even considered. It's just
at all.
Hey, I want to do this crazy thing. All right.
Yeah,
you're your own guy, whatever.
Let's go.
Our brand is two guys who are really bad at like creating a cohesive brand experience. Anyways, but there is something very interesting. I want to give a little bit of a lead in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a little bit of a lead in, and then I want you to follow up with what you have. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So it is no secret, and we are often, perhaps not often enough for a lot of people, but we are often honest and forthcoming with our relationship with the No Agenda show. Mm-hmm. No Agenda, John Dvorak and Adam Curry, they've been podcasting for only slightly longer than we have. They got us beat by just a couple of years, but that's cool.
A couple.
The
years,
Podfather, Adam Curry, inventor of podcasting, very cool. We look up to those guys. They're doing it right. In fact, we took a lot of our formatting from their show, No Agenda. We reached out to them and asked if we could take the value for value model and implement it. And they said, yes, of course, go. That's what it's for. We got their blessing. We're very happy about that. A lot of people who find our show randomly will notice the similarities between our show and No Agenda. Some of them immediately get very mad at us and send us long emails. But then we tell them what I'm saying now and everything's okay. And we've even produced the No Agenda show. Executive produced the No Agenda show a few times, and it's hilarious because we've popped up on their show a few times, especially because we have some of our producers produce their show. We get mentions. It's awesome. I could start naming people, but I don't want to forget anybody. And every single time we come up on their show, it's this whole thing of like, have you ever heard of these guys? Canary, Cry? No, never heard of them. Never heard of it once.
The first time it happened, it was kind of like, okay. But after the second or third time, it was like, really, guys? You guys still have no idea? 4 times.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But then some interesting things started happening. Mm-hmm. And I would love for the opportunity one day to, we really want to get both of those guys on CCR. We would love to do interviews, especially now with Adam Curry's professed faith in baptized. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Want to talk to him about so many things. And of course, they're sort of a type of role model for us. And so we want to make sure everybody knows how we feel about them. But there's been some interesting things on No Agenda, considering they have never heard of us. Number one, this happened a couple months ago. They suddenly, sort of inexplicably, came out with a robot mascot, much like Flippy, the robotic arm. Suddenly, they had a character that started popping up every show named Zippy. Zippy. And he had his whole thing. They're like, this is our robot. We love him very much. His name's Zippy. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it sounds a lot like Flippy. I'm not going to lie. But that's cool. We don't have a trademark on having a sort of fake love of a robot mascot. That's okay. They can do that. Now, to be honest, the Zippy trend didn't last very long, and that's okay.
Adam Curry shut it down after 1 or 2 mentions.
Yeah, didn't quite execute in the same way that we've been able to with Flippy. Yeah. Now, a couple shows ago, and there's been a couple other things, but a couple shows ago, the guys over at No Agenda, they were talking about Apple Vision Pro. Mm-hmm. Now, here's something. If nobody's ever listened to the No Agenda show, something sort of famous about the show is they are both radically pessimistic
skeptical
about
any new tech. Yeah.
Any new technology, any new product, any new anything, extraordinarily skeptical and pessimistic about it. And it's kind of fun because, They're older guys. They have a lot of experience in the tech world. Like, people respect their opinions. I respect their opinions. But it's always, every new technology is, nope, it's going to crash and burn. And a lot of times they're right.
Yeah.
But they started talking about Apple Vision Pro, and it did not go how I expected, Gons.
Yeah. Here's Adam Curry talking about the Apple Vision Pro.
I would love to have a spatial screen setup for doing podcasts, especially when I'm traveling. I mean, I schlep along so many screens and mice and keyboards and all this stuff, and I could just have, I would love to have in front of me that I can control with my hands, little Minority Report style, like, boom, control room over here, and I reposition it. So yes, I would use this 100 times.
I smell an app.
I smelled thievery.
And they go on to talk about how VR podcasting with the Apple Vision Pro could be their exit strategy. They could make an app. They could, sell it to other podcasters. And I am just putting it out publicly right now. Look, Adam, I have been doing this for years, buddy. I know you've never heard of me. I know
you've never heard
of the show.
We've only produced the show a few times, I guess.
A total coincidence, like South Park. They start South Park with the little notification that says any resemblance to real people is purely a coincidence. Look, I know the zippy thing, pure coincidence. I know. We're going to show a piece of art. Actually,
it's been up the whole time, actually.
Okay, so yes, if you're watching, somebody had submitted art, much like they do in this show, for No Agenda, and it is literally a guy wearing the Apple Vision Pro with big googly eyes on the outside. I believe that was from Sir Paul Couture, a member of the No Agenda Roundtable, made that one. I don't know if Sir Paul has seen this show. Maybe he has. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm just not as original as I thought. But I'm thinking Adam Curry, he's got the experience. He's got the credibility. He can make something happen. If he wants to make VR podcasting a thing, what he's missing is a hot, young podcaster who's been podcasting VR for years, trailblazing the project. I've been doing it, man. Adam, let's team up. We can do it together. I've got so much insight for you. And you need a hype man. Although he is notoriously a famous hype man. But you gotta have two.
Gotta get that hype, bro.
Exactly. So there you go. I'm wondering if, we've turned on a lot of our people to go check out No Agenda. I'm wondering if other people are noticing this, or if some of our producers are maybe sending emails or something. I would not mind, of course, with always the utmost respect and dignity, if somebody out there is able to get Adam Curry's attention for me. Perhaps it's an email campaign. Perhaps it's a Twitter campaign. Perhaps somebody out there has a personal relationship. If we could just get his attention for a second, I think we could do great things for podcasting. And of course, we want to get him on the show. So there's my rant about that.
Okay. Well, there you go. A little catch up. See, it sounds like you're doing okay. You're not like writhing in pain. I don't think there's anything leaking over there, so we're doing okay.
I am losing my breath. I am losing my breath a little bit, but I'm okay. I'm good to keep going.
All right. Well, it is it's first of all, episode 633 for your return, and it happens to fall on a Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Wow. It's been so long. It's been so long since I've had that Wednesday scream in my ear. So it feels good. Yeah. Okay. I would like to also mention that if I slow down or kind of lose my lose my, I don't know, train of thought for a second. I'm kind of still getting into the groove of the show. It is Wednesday, and this is what? When we talk about personal things, Gons?
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I have a quick note here.
Yeah, what do you got?
In the middle of the move. So I had mentioned how today might be the last day I go live in this studio. It actually will be Friday. So Friday will be the last time I'm in the studio. Move the whole studio into the weekend, and by Monday, hopefully, I'll be in the new space, and we'll see how. It shouldn't affect anything too much, but there are some logistics that may change or whatnot by then. But also, been doodling on the guitar. Tend to doodle on the guitar a little bit, and I turned 40 this year. So naturally, I started listening to more jazzy music. Like jazzy guitar, kind of like a contemporary.
Oh, really?
Jazz style. Yeah, and started learning some jazz.
Because you've been a little bit more of a metalhead in recent years.
Been metal.
It's more of your thing.
Had some blues in there, but yeah, just I like the challenge of something new and just different, and so jazzy kind of stuff is something I haven't explored. So planning to do more of that.
Does this have anything to do specifically with you turning 40?
I think it has everything to do with me turning 40. I think
that the evolution that happens?
Yeah, I think it just kicks in,
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially with your golf.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm thinking about starting, and maybe you can help me, Basil. Just a new YouTube channel, or maybe like a Rumble project, and it'll be like the 40-year-old Asian playing guitar. That's a horrible name for a channel, but
no, it's a good spin. I like it.
Something like that, where it's I'm just a guy learning jazz, and I'll try to play some of the tutorials and stuff out there on YouTube of jazz pieces and whatnot, and it might be kind of fun to do. Just totally different from if they censor me there, then there's something really wrong. They're really going after me. They're like, no 40-year-old Asians playing guitar.
I support this just simply for your mental health. I mean, you got to do something for Gons. You got to do something for yourself, buddy. But I think there's got to be a huge market for.
You cut out
on guitar. I was just saying, there has to be a huge market for 40-year-old Asian dads playing jazz guitar, content.
Learning
got to be
guitar.
Learning jazz, right? Yeah. I think there's something there. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Well, I don't know if I have any big updates, because mainly I gave my big recent update in the recording for last show. I'll say this. By children, you've got children in the studio attacking. You can find all this good content at 40-year-old Asian dad trying to play jazz guitar on YouTube.
The green screen just fell, everybody. You can see my white wall.
It's exciting. We're back to normal. We're back to the crumbling experience that is the Canary Cry brand. All right, Gons, this is big news that I'm about to drop on you. Okay. So, all right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Considering the great coyote hunt, considering the great coyote raids that have now taken not only two of my hens, but the propaganda rooster. There's a period of mourning going on right now at the compound, but there has been very serious contemplation about getting a ranch dog, getting a dog, something I never thought would be something that I would say or do, but recent events have created a situation where national security is at stake. And I'm not talking a cuddly dog. I'm not talking a dog that's going to sleep in the bed. I'm talking about a dog that will grow up to be mean and deadly, and something that can help defend the innocence of the chickens and the emus. Oh my gosh, other big news. I forgot about this big news. I got goats. I got two goats. Yeah, forgot about that.
Good.
So I got a couple goats. I was in the midst of pain and suffering of my health problems. and a friend who has helped me in the past get other animals suddenly helped me get goats. So I have goats now. So I'm considering getting a dog that will live outside and protect me from the rascally coyotes. It's not decided yet. There's a lot of things to consider here, but that is currently in that's in the chamber. That decision is to be made soon.
All right, good stuff.
He's gone. He's gone.
I'm
This
here.
is the biggest news of my entire life, and he's gone. All right. With that, Gons, it's time to thank some people for supporting the show.
Yes. What are we doing? Executive producers.
Yeah.
Executive producers.
You know this, you love it. We're on the value for value model. It means we take no corporate money whatsoever. I don't care who that corporation is. Their money is no good here. We're entirely funded by listeners of the show who receive value and understand that we are in a paradigm shifting time on this planet where we must change our minds about how news media and media in general is funded. So we take no corporate money. We are entirely funded by people who get value. If you get value from this show, consider putting value back in with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Lots of ways to do it. But executive producers are people who come in with their treasure to support the show, and they're very generous, and that's why they get extra credit, and we love them. So we're going to thank them right now. You ready, Gons?
Yeah. One of the things that I developed while you were out was a little line about how we don't have any corporate influence, communist influence, or cartel influence. And it's important to point out the 3 C's that we don't have, or maybe CRISPR influence we can add onto the list. But yeah.
Oh, that's good. There you go, folks. So let's thank some executive producers.
Okay.
We have an executive producer who came in for this episode. I have not checked back at anybody who's come in during the show. I'll do that as best I can. But before the show, we had an executive producer come in, and that is executive producer Caroline F.
Caroline F. Thank you very much.
Yes,
wow,
thank you very
generous.
much. Caroline F. came in with a nice round number, which means we do not disclose it on the show. If some people don't want to necessarily disclose the number, and if that's the case, just make it a round number, nice, easy round number. If you don't mind us disclosing it, go ahead and make it a funky number. Add 33 cents on there, make the number weird. That tells us to read it out loud. But thank you very much, executive producer Caroline F.
Where'd you find this?
That's right. Very generous. I did not see a note or anything. But, we also had some executive producers. Gons, you did a great job thanking producers while you were gone. Because of the way we run our organization, you did not feel comfortable getting into some of the back end stuff to try to, I don't know how would you want to say this?
I don't want to apply my experimental mathematics into some of the back end accounting. So I stayed out of it.
The division of labor that we share for this project has me doing a lot of stuff that you did not get the chance to learn, and et cetera, et cetera. So long story short, we had some executive producers come in while I was gone that heretofore have been uncredited. So we're going to credit them now. Ready?
Yep.
We got executive producer Juan E.
Thank you very much.
He's back. Juan E. comes back as an executive producership. This was a few weeks ago. Came in with $100.33. Thank you very much, Juan E.
Thank you, Juan E.
That was
Where'd
wonderful.
you find this?
Next, we had executive producer Kevin M., which I was pretty sure Kevin M. is a knight, but I could not find his information. But thank you, executive producer Kevin N. Came in, nice round number. Appreciate it. This was a couple weeks ago as well. Thank you, executive producer Kevin M.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you.
And one last one. This is a wonderful executive producer. Came in with a nice round number. Executive producer Tracy S.
Thank you, Tracy S.
There we go. I think we're all caught up on that. Thank you.
Sounds good. Sorry, coughing.
Did I lose you? Were you distracted?
No, I hit the mute because I'm coughing.
Oh, good. All right. Now, you've been doing things a little bit differently while I've been gone.
Have I?
Yeah, you said you did all treasure producers here in this break. Are we doing that?
That's what I've been doing, yep.
Okay, well then we'll just continue. These are all people we're thanking because they came in, they went to canarycried.support, they received value, and they want to put value back in so that the show can continue, because we will never take corporate money or cartel money or whatever the other C was.
Commie money.
Commies. No commie money. And if you want the show to keep going, you jump in with whatever makes sense for you. You know, it's not a contest. It's like the woman at the well, you know, or sorry, the woman at the temple. Whatever the Lord calls on you to put in. That's wonderful. So we have a few more people who were uncredited from before, and we're starting with producer Sir Marty K. Out of the Wrong Timeline.
Sir Marty K, thank you.
Yeah. Did you happen to read Sir Marty K's note when it came in?
Feels like I did.
You wouldn't have had the number, so I'm just wondering if you would have read his note.
I don't know. I may have.
Okay.
I know,
all right.
I remember thanking him. So
yeah. Let me pull it up just for a second.
Okay.
Let's see. Tried to produce a couple times, but some of the transfers didn't go. Yeah,
sounds familiar.
Okay. I'll keep it sweat, he says. Short and sweet and short and on the point like Gonzo. LOL. I made a funny movie clip, or whatever it's called. It's 17.14 seconds. I don't know if it's a show friendly, but it will at least give you a chuckle. I'm sending it with the email. Oh, yeah.
I kind of remember that.
You remember this? Okay.
Yeah.
So you may have read it. Not. Yeah, he says he's 3 years your senior, Cabana Boy Kenobi, so you're still just a sprout. And for you listeners, I'm ending the mail with a heart emoji and a laughing emoji. Yours sincerely, Martin K. Out of the Wrong Timeline. Thank you, Sir Marty K.
Thank you, Sir Marty K.
We also have producer Christine S. Oh, Sir Marty K came in with $71.89, probably a exchange from his euros or something. Christine S. came in with a nice round number. Thank you, Christine S.
Yep.
We had producer Heather M. come in with $36.36.
Thank you, Heather M.
That's kind of fun. We had Sir LX Protocol V2, Out of the Berean Protocol, kept coming in, and I'm updating his streak to 183 episodes in a row.
Woo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong streak. 183.
Yes.
He is a streak setter.
There we go. Thank you very much, Sir LX Protocol. Morgan E. kept coming in. We appreciate that. Morgan E. is on a 39-episode streak, I believe.
Thank you, Morgan E.
Coming in for 1027. Thank you.
Nice.
Jacob B. came in for a pocket full of sevens.
Thank you, Jacob B.
Yeah, and seemed to have some sort of foresight, because he says, "Welcome back to the show, Basil," preemptively. An update on Daniel G. Okay, so apparently we had a prayer request for Daniel G.
I think so, yeah.
Thanks to any who prayed for him, he did receive a sentence. Oh, however, it is minimal, and he and his family are at peace with it. Okay. Wow, what a mysterious thing. I have no background for it, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're happy, Jacob B., and I'm happy that...
We read something from him. I don't remember the exact details, but I think we covered a prayer request from him at an earlier point.
Well, surely the listeners know what's going on, so we'll let... There you go. Thank you, Jacob B. Pocket full of sevens.
Appreciate it.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight came in for a pocket full of sevens, 309 episodes in a row.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
309.
And he has a little note, says, "Welcome back, Basil." Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe, this is getting a little long in the tooth, so I'm going to wrap this up. We also have a list of, what are they called? Supply droppers
yeah.
And T-shirt council members who came in while I was gone. I went through, I did the admin, I have their names, and I'm going to run through their names sometime during this show. But I'm not going to do it during this exact moment.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. But I will say this, and I'll say it again at some other point in the show. The supply drop and the T-shirt council, a lot of that got thrown out of whack because it's like kind of my project and I was dead for a while and now I'm back. So everything's getting back on track. And we did extend the signups for both the T-shirt council and supply drop. And we're going to keep signups open until Friday. So if you want to receive the supply drop or the T-shirt council, remember the supply drop, we're putting in Age of Deceit 1, 2, and 3 this year. So if you want to start and get in on the ground floor, get Age of Deceit 1 on DVD. Now's the time to sign up before Friday. And I will thank all those people later. But we have a few people who came in under 777. Let's thank them now, of course. We've got Sir Moore of Night of the Burning Chariots.
Thank you, Sir Moore.
Sir Moore is on a 241 episode streak, as far as I can tell. We got Dane Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's.
Thank you, Dane Gale.
271 in a row. We got Veronica D.
Thank you, Veronica D.
271 in a row. And of course, we got an updated streak count for Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, with a 298 episode streak.
Thank you, Sir Scott. You're right there at that 300 barrier.
Indeed. That'll be fun. So thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. While I was gone, it really, my goodness, there's no words to express the sincerity by the gratitude, the gravity of my gratitude, I suppose. Being in the hospital for and out for the count, unable to do anything, unable to speak or whatever for a month is the type of life event that could cause long acting and really deep and horrible repercussions in people's lives, both financially, especially financially and otherwise. And it's by the grace of God and by the generosity of the producers that I am not out on the street today. So it really means a lot. You guys stuck with us. And that's that. I know we've said it before, but I just couldn't do the show without saying it again. And if you want to produce a show, if you feel that little tug on your heart, if the Lord's saying this is worth keeping alive, go to canarycry.support and get involved however you want.
Canarycry.support. Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Okay.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy Update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Feels good. Feels good to be back in the saddle, Gons. You did a great job with Flippies while I was gone. Today's Flippy Update is coming from, inexplicably, the Robb Report. Robreport.com. Not something I've ever heard. At first, I thought it was the Robot Report, our sort of nemesis in robot critiquing. But no, this is the Robb Report. And the headline is, "This insane robotic chef could soon be cooking up meals on your flight." Dun, dun, dun. One Emirati company, of course, is hoping to take plain food to bold new technological heights. Air and travel services provider Dinata unveiled an innovative cooking robot at the World Travel, Catering, and Onboard Services Expo in Germany this week. Did you know that this existed? The World Travel, Catering, and Onboard Services Expo?
I'm not, but there's an expo for everything these days. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. You know what's really strange is I learned about this expo last week, and it was robot unrelated, so it's weird for it to be back in my view. In Germany this week, that could soon churn out top-notch fare from a plain galley or an airline lounge. The new AI-powered bot is able to serve up identical dishes at scale, according to developers at Motley. With advanced machine learning capabilities, it can recreate recipes by following pre-recorded chef instructions. It is also equipped with multiple sensors that enable it to precisely measure ingredients and execute complex cooking techniques. On top of that, the robot ensures consistent quality and good food hygiene. It can also, listen to this, quickly adapt to changes in real time. The design is essentially one robotic arm with an articulating hand that can mimic the movements of professional chefs. The actions have actually been uploaded into its memory. It also has the power to clean up after itself once it's done.
Oh, this is and all the women said, where do we get this arm?
Yeah, marry me, Flippy. See, I told you. So here's the thing. We've talked about cooking robots. They've been sort of a mainstay of Flippy updates for a long time. But I see some concerns with this one, Gons. First of all, the headline calls it an insane robotic chef.
Is it like insane? Chef, culturally insane, like cool, insane. Or is it like insane in the membrane, or is it like
criminally
clinical,
insane?
Yeah, like an actual psychological problem.
Yes, he has problems and he needs help. But no, at least he's got a job wielding knives on a plane. Look, if this robot's going to be cooking, are they equipping this robot with knives? And should we let insane knife-wielding robots on planes? Especially, look, I'm not pointing any fingers as to the true source of the 9/11 tragedy, or the perhaps obscured involvement with some of our Middle East friends. But this is an Emirati company putting insane robots with knives on our planes. At a time where AI is, it is mainstream, the dangers that AI has to the world. And I think that this is opening up a potential for the very first recorded robot terrorism. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to upset our Emirati friends or anybody who will fly on the famously luxurious, Middle East-based plane companies. But I see nothing but havoc being wreaked by this insane knife-wielding robot on a plane.
I've had it with these mother fountain flippies on this mother fountain plane.
Yeah, see, exactly. It would be a great movie. Get Samuel L. Jackson fighting robots, knife-wielding robots on a plane. You can get some kind of old school, Middle Eastern terrorism. It'll feel like it's 2003 again. It'll be a blockbuster hit. Well, so if nothing else, Robb Report seems to be sort of setting up, the next stage of robo-terrorism.
So last episode, the Flippy update was another cooking Flippy arm, like a robot arm. Uh-huh. And this robot arm, the special powers that it had was it could watch videos of like tutorials of how to cook something and learn to cook it.
Okay. Yeah.
So all that video, all the Instagram,
just like any YouTube video.
Yeah. That's the idea. So
that's interesting.
Celebrity chefs can all be sort of preserved in like a database. And then, I was talking about how they can start to blend, like the robot chef will become a thing where it's like, if you want like a hybrid of a couple different chefs, some style, kind of like in ChatGPT or whatever, some AI thing, you can
do it in the style of.
Right. And you can blend different styles. You can do the same thing with the Flippy, whatever, this cooking robot. I forget the name of it.
Do you recall the phenomenon in social media videos and as well as on YouTube where they used it specifically to get around censors in China, where they would start out making a video, like a cooking video, like, here, I'm going to show you how to make a grilled cheese. First, you get your cheese and then you grill it. And then also the Uyghurs are being held captive in prisons in China, and they are taking their organs and selling them to the elites. Something like that, I could see your your knife wielding insane robo chef starting to watch a cooking video, and then suddenly, it's a video that somebody has slipped in some like activation phrases or suggests that the robot, perhaps hijack a plane. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, there you
Brave new world out there, Gons. There's your Flippy update for the day, folks.
All right. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk a little CRISPR.
CRISPR. Cas9.
This is Motley Fool. This is not financial advice, but apparently this is for Motley Fool. The headline here: this move is a first for the FDA. Could it signal a big turning point for CRISPR Therapeutics? Now, we've been covering CRISPR for years now. CRISPR Therapeutics is the leading company when it comes to CRISPR tech, and this is kind of a watershed moment for all things CRISPR. Here's what it says in the article. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Partner CRISPR Therapeutics and partner Vertex Pharmaceuticals just took another step closer to launching a potential game-changing product. At the same time, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration did something that may enter the record books. The FDA's acceptance of the CRISPR Therapeutics and Vertex files marks a first. It's the first time the FDA has agreed to review a candidate that relies on the CRISPR gene editing technique. The potential product, EXEC for blood disorders, may add to Vertex's blockbuster revenue. But for CRISPR Therapeutics, it could be even more important. Could it signal a big turning point for the biotech company? Then it talks about CRISPR technology, which I will skip because we know mostly about it. The FDA granted EXEC priority review for sickle cell disease, which we know that they've been testing that for a while now, and they've been pretty successful. The CRISPR Therapeutics, or not
that was
company,
kind of the first one.
Yes, human trials and everything. The speed that speeds up the review process for candidates that, if approved, represent significant improvements to current treatments. The FDA is set to decide on EXEC for sickle cell disease this December. The agency plans on issuing a decision for beta thalassemia in March. And it gets into the positive potentials here. The potential FDA nod would be a big positive signal for the company's gene editing technology. That's because this is a technique the company uses in candidates across its pipeline. And of course, a positive decision here doesn't mean the technique will be successful in every indication, but it would confirm that the technology works and has the potential to treat other diseases. The approval of CRISPR Therapeutics' first product revenue, or the approval represents a product revenue, and it could be significant considering the need for such treatment. Commercialization could set the company off on the route to revenue growth and eventual profitability. So
it seems to be repeating the Moderna storyline.
It's Moderna all over again, but now it's
interesting.
It's not like a direct pandemic, but it's Moderna was around for 10 years before COVID. They didn't have a product until COVID, right? So at least that they're moving in the direction of, hey, we might have some products here. But yeah, anytime a company like this gets crowned as the ones to carry out certain things, it's all being prepared for probably a larger social pandemic situation or something that will force everybody to take a CRISPR therapeutic in order to survive whatever, climate change or whatever it may be. And there's a big takeaway here. There's a big, not takeaway, but a giveaway as to why this might be happening. And this is coming from globenewswire.com. CRISPR Therapeutics to participate in Goldman Sachs' 44th annual Global Healthcare Conference.
Wow. Goldman Sachs is showing up everywhere.
Goldman Sachs, with their new blockchain with Microsoft. My keyboard fell. Is getting ready to issue be part of the I'm sorry, what am I saying? CRISPR Therapeutics getting ready to offer their first product, and they have the blessing of Goldman Sachs, so they have the big banker money behind them.
Right, they're in their healthcare conference. Yeah, That's very interesting. You know what else interesting detail I learned is Taylor Swift's dad was a executive at Goldman Sachs. I don't know how that ties in, but it's just another detail. Yeah, so you've got the WorldCoin digital identity orb teaming up with Goldman Sachs and CRISPR Therapeutics and the Microsoft partnership.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all coming together, isn't it? Their whole
Bill
plan.
Gates. Yeah, geez Louise. It's all coming together, baby.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, and they could only get away with that if they get Trump out of the way.
We will launch a new age. I am innocent. Innocent. They're coming after me.
Make this nice and short because, of course, everybody's been following this New York Post headline. Trump faces. This is hilarious. Sorry, I'm kind of getting a stitch in my side. Trump faces a maximum of 400 years in prison.
They gotta look. They need somebody to take the extended life genetic upgrades, the CRISPR. It'll be Project Super Warp Speed. Gotta keep Trump alive. He's got to serve his sentence. We don't want him to die.
Right. If there's anybody that like the whole country, not the whole country, obviously, but the whole mainstream media would get behind
keeping alive like to torture.
Like an non-consensual life extension therapy would be for Donald Trump so he could serve his entire 400 years in prison and a $9 million fine over federal indictment. $9 million is
that's not much for this guy.
Not much considering Alex Jones had almost $1 billion fine.
There's $1 billion. That's right.
Yeah. So Alex Jones gets $1 billion fine. Trump gets 400 years. This is great. I'm not going to read too much of this, but just so you know, the 49-page indictment against former President Donald Trump, unsealed on Friday, revealed that the ex-commander-in-chief potentially faces hundreds of years behind bars. Millions in fines for his alleged mishandling of classified documents. The 76-year-old has been accused by special counsel Jack Smith of violating 7 different federal laws among the 37 separate charges in the indictment. There are numerous sentencing possibilities, but if Trump is handed the maximum penalty for each count and the judge orders the penalties to be served consecutively, he would be looking at 400 years in prison and would be subject to a fine of $9.25 million. Not a whole lot of bombshell things in here, of course, if you've been following what's been going on. But how does this make you look? I'm not even that concerned with the details anymore, Gons. Mm-hmm. How does it make you feel?
What do you mean?
Donald Trump could be serving 400 years in prison.
Oh, it tickles my fancy.
Oh, I bet it does.
Tickling my ears. I want to email Jared Kushner. I'm sure he's thrilled.
My generation is hopefully with the advances in science, the first generation to live forever, or the last generation that's going to die.
He's got
all that's actually tools. A very interesting connection there. Yeah. We've seen this so many times. This is obviously probably not going to amount to really anything, at least anything that would keep him. It's been open conversation. This is what has surprised me. The open conversation, even in the mainstream, about how this is at least a little bit political motivated. Considering it's Biden's DOJ, going to the whole thing, this is the direct prosecution of an active political opponent, in hopes to keep him from running, et cetera. There's all sorts of comparisons to other despots and other despotic countries in the world, especially sort of hilariously against the backdrop of us, talk about Vladimir Putin and how he's doing kind of the same thing in Russia, his political opponents. Yeah. I can't imagine. The headline is its own story, I guess is trying to say here. Yeah. The story here is there's a headline that's trying to get everybody all pumped up for 400 years of Donald Trump in prison. And who knows? Maybe he'll be the first to extend his life via court-mandated CRISPR treatment.
Of course, he would be proud to. Still alive, 270 years. Whatever.
Yeah, he can still run his businesses from jail. He could still run for president in jail. There was a guy, I forget his name, We might need to look this up because it's kind of a big claim, and we might just show you a guy in 1900s who ran for president from jail.
From prison. I remember the story. Yeah, I forget who it was, but let's
get his name.
Eugene V. Debs.
That's him. Gene Debs was in jail, ran for president, and got 1 million votes.
Hey,
got a lot of votes.
This guy knows what to be down in the bottom.
Yeah, you know what? Considering how many people have put a target on Trump's, maybe in Fed custody is the biggest place for him. Maybe it's 5D chess, man. Trump's in charge. He wants to put himself in federal
jail.
protection.
I'll run the country from jail. It'll all be fine.
I'll get free CRISPR. I'll become president in jail.
I'll be president forever.
To the tubes. I'll live forever, and I'll rule for 400 years.
After
it'll be sort of the first, sort of cyborg immortal president as we move into the apocalyptic. Just something that. But there's another fun. Let me just be this, right? And then we feel a bit more serious. But this is some New World Order stuff here.
Do I have my New World Order jingles ready? I do not. I have my jingle board just crashed. But you're there, folks. When my jingle board crashing, you heard the first part, and then it just
kind of had a whimper that sort of. All right. Well, you just let me know when you got it.
It's loading again. Hold on.
This is coming from sf8.com. So straight from San Francisco. San Francisco's secretive Bohemian Grove sued by valets.
Oh, it's New World Order here!
That's right.
Just take that right from Adam Curry's mouth there.
Alex Jones is throwing a party. Bohemian Grove is getting sued by some workers. A lawsuit brought against the Bohemian Club has revealed the inner workings of one of America's most secretive clubs, headquartered in San Francisco. I love it. They're kind of setting it up like we're going to blow the lid off of the secretive Bohemian Club. 3 valets who worked for years at the private club's infamous summer camp at Monterio in Sonoma County brought the complaint. Seen by SF8. The complaint alleges a litany of unlawful labor practices at Bohemian Grove, including non-stop 16-hour workdays, during which employees were not provided bathroom and lunch breaks, and a failure to pay minimum wage and overtime. Can you believe it, Gons? Bohemian Grove getting busted for OSHA violations.
They're not getting busted for the human sacrifice or any of that. It's treating the people there.
No, it's low wages and forced overtime. We need to get the Department of Labor to raid Bohemian Grove. Every summer for 150 years, a 2,700-acre clearing in the ancient redwoods near the Russian River becomes a gathering place for the world's elite. The Bohemian Club's summer camp is shrouded in mystery, but is rumored to end with a ritual that involves a human effigy and the burning of a giant sacrificial owl. I don't think that's quite exactly how it goes, but okay. And then it goes, a founded group in 1872, blah, blah, blah. They give a little history, but we all know the history. We know the history. Getting down here, the lawsuit claims that the camp hosts 3 events every year: the Spring Jinx, the Spring Picnic, and the Summer Encampment. Bohemian Grove itself is split into over 100 set camps, some named in the complaint, including Camel's Camp, the Last Chance Camp, and Monastery Camp. Monastery camps are the most prestigious and well-known camps in Bohemian Grove, the complaint reads. Attendees include Bohemian Club members, blah, 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 Fortune 500 companies, prominent governments. Okay, we get it. Get to the violations here.
It's the next paragraph here. The complaint says.
The complaint says that each camp has 1 or more captains and alleges that some are knowingly violating numerous labor laws every summer. Is one of those labor laws of human sacrifice? Because I'm pretty sure you got to put that in the contract beforehand. Yeah. One of those captains is named as Bohemian Club treasurer Bill Dawson, who is accused of personally directing valets to, quote, falsify payroll records and to work off the clock. Oh, the horror, Gons.
Yeah, it's funny.
Then it goes into it more. Made him work for 18 hours a day, stuff like this.
Hey,
but what a good opportunity for SF8 to kind of give some of the weird history and post some of the weird pictures.
They did post.
They've got some of the weirder
from
pictures.
The 1920s. Yeah. Look at it's the little temple shrine thing there. There's some people. I guess they're
naked people dancing around.
Yeah, laying on the ground in a weird position. People. One guy with a beard sitting on a throne type thing. A lot of weird stuff going on.
It repeats. The article repeats over and over and over that the real complaint is that they have to work 16-plus hour workdays during the 14-day camp.
Not that the elite are there doing some weird sacrificial ritual. Deciding what to do.
What a missed opportunity. They're saying they're getting paid under the table. They're having to work overtime. They're intimidated or coerced into waiving meal periods. And yet, what an opportunity to really blow. You know what? Considering all the things these valleys have seen, I bet you they're going to win this case.
Yeah.
I bet you that whatever judge is going to be hearing the case, there might be some Polaroid pictures held by some of these valets. I think these valets are going to do just fine.
You think these valets are going to pull off an Epstein, like a reverse Epstein? I got some evidence of you, sir, actor or world leader there in some vulnerable situations.
Knowing what I know about Bohemian Grove, if they were making me work 16-hour days and I wanted to sue them, I would probably grab some insurance, is what I would do. Probably some little bit of insurance, maybe a dead man's switch.
Yeah.
Some negotiating power. Yeah. So there you go, folks. Bohemian Grove coming in contact with the labor laws of our nation.
It's so funny how that's what it took for SF Gate to address this issue that's been on their turf for over a century. And when they bring it up, it's labor issues. It's like, that's what you going. All right.
To get the good liberals in San Francisco to carry, you got to unionize the valets in Bohemian Grove. Power to the working man.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it is sort of in the context of an elite adult summer camp does make it like, I think they're going to be fine. This is a labor issue. It's all the best valets. Hope that the sort of psychological SARS. I hope you are, compensated by the world's elite for having to work so hard.
Maybe there was some deals done that like one or two people that are part of the valet team there, got some benefits. And maybe they got into the club in some way, but they sacrificed everybody else to get in, And so now there's one or two people that have been pulled into the system at the expense of these other people. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with.
It could be something. I'm seeing some complaints about some choppiness across the board from a lot of from all the outlets that you can watch it live. I don't know what to do about that, except for a good opportunity to listen to the podcast version or watch it later, something like that.
Yeah.
But we will be moving office. Hopefully that won't cause any more problems. All right, what do you got, Guns?
Climate. Vaccines.
Climate change.
Climate change.
There's Bill Gates. There was a quick Bill Gates update. We'll tie some things together here. This is DeconHerald.com. The headline, Bill Gates-backed solar company raises $103 million for U.S. wafer factory. I first read this, I thought, why are they making wafers? Are they going to distribute baptisms or not baptisms? What am I thinking of? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The communion.
Communion. Thank you. Wow. Brain having problems. Solar energy parts manufacturer Cubic PV said on Tuesday it has raised $103 million to build a U.S. factory to make silicon wafers, key building blocks for solar panels that are produced almost entirely by China. The investment was led by the clean energy arm of Thai industrial conglomerate SCG, with additional funding from existing investors Hunt Energy Enterprises and Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures. Bedford, Massachusetts-based Cubic PV is seeking to become a pioneer in domestic wafer manufacturing with a 10-gigawatt factory to be completed in 2024. It plans to announce the location this year. China produces about 98% of the world's wafers, and the U.S. wants to reduce its reliance on imports to realize President Joe Biden's ambitious clean energy and climate change goals. So I think this is interesting. Moves for the first $33 million of the investment is available to the company immediately, it said.
The
remaining funds are tied to undisclosed project milestones. That's funny. Here's $33 million. If you want more, you better reach some milestones.
And, a good signal to other investors.
Yeah, very much so. This is the Illuminati money is here, folks. And it would kind of be like, all right, sure, Bill Gates investing in another thing. It wouldn't be much of a story unless you had this story that came out today, U.S. News, exclusive Bill Gates in China to meet President Xi on Friday. So it is going down, baby.
Chinese!
It says here, Bill Gates, Microsoft co-founder, is set to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday during his visit to China. Two people with knowledge of the matter said. The meeting will mark Xi's first meeting with a foreign private entrepreneur in recent years. The People said the encounter may be a one-on-one meeting. A third source confirmed they would meet without providing details. The sources did not say that what the two might discuss. Gates tweeted on Wednesday that he had landed in Beijing for the first time since 2019 and that he would meet with partners who had been working on global health and development challenges with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I wonder if they're doing a toast to a wonderful pandemic that they all were able to pull off. The foundation.
I know, it's such a mysterious thing to do.
Yeah, weird. It's like they're going for the after party or something. The foundation and China's State Council Information Office, which handles media queries on behalf of the Chinese government, did not immediately respond to Reuters' requests for comments. Gates stepped down, blah, blah, blah. The meeting would mark the end of a long hiatus by Xi in recent years from meeting foreign private entrepreneurs and business leaders after the Chinese president stopped traveling abroad for nearly 3 years as China shut its borders during the pandemic. It goes on here to talk about, Apple's Tim Cook and some of the stuff going on with the tech industry in China. But really, I think, looking at the history of Bill Gates recently, remember when didn't he hire like a new PR firm, something like that, to try to get him more likable because his public image was failing? And the whole Epstein connection came out, and people were just really down Bill Gates.
The divorce.
Yeah, the divorce, So I'm wondering if part of their PR team's like, hey, here's a common enemy, China. Let's get Bill to invest in some chip manufacturing and then go to China, maybe negotiate, maybe play the role of some kind of peacemaker or, a representative of the Western corporatism and, either negotiate or have some kind of dealing that will make the Taiwan issue easier. And then Bill can kind of come off as like a, hey, tried, or like maybe even a hero if they can settle the Taiwan issue without much, destruction and violence or something, and the Bill gets the credit as being broker. Just a theory. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but
no, I see it similarly, but maybe a little bit different. Because Elon famously just met with like the Chinese foreign minister, which brought into question all sorts of stuff. He's doing a bunch of business in China.
The Tesla
and he's trying to and he's trying to be sort of like a corporate hero of Western capitalism, but then he's kind of bowing to China, and it's kind of not a great look. But you got to do what you got to do, man. Bill's more of like the globalist elite ambassador. And when so much separation and wars and rumors of wars as far as China versus the U.S. and Blinken, and Chinese know that really it's money that rules America, not the president. It's not Blinken. It's money. So you got to get the money guys to go talk, because that's the only way they think that they're actually making progress with the U.S. So I could see sending Bill Gates as sort of an ambassador of globalist corporatism, as a representative of sort of like, hey, China, no, we're not trying to shut you out. Yeah, we're going to make our own solar panels, but don't worry. Klaus's plan is still on. Just stick with the program. It's going to be okay. I could see it a little bit more like a soothing of like burping a baby. Bill Gates is going over to burp the baby because they can't have this war start before 2027.
Yeah.
And, she's been acting a little froggy recently.
Yeah.
The super painful.
Which ties in a little bit. Here's a short thing on Taiwan. Firstpost.com. U.S. preparing evacuation plans for American citizens in Taiwan. Planning for the same has been underway for at least 6 months, and, quote, it's heated up over the past 2 months or so, the senior U.S. intelligence official told the Messenger, on the condition of anonymity. Amid rising tensions with China, the U.S. government is reportedly planning to evacuate its citizens from Taiwan. Yeah, perhaps it has to do with China. Perhaps it has to do with the U.S. coming out and admitting that they'd rather blow up Taiwan than let China get their hands on it. So either way, tomato, tomato. Planning for the same has been underway. You already read that part, Battle. The official added that a heightened level of tension had driven the preparations. Quote, nothing you wouldn't read in the news. Forces building up. China aligning with Russia on Ukraine. The official told the website, no secret information here. Stop conspiracy theories. Another source familiar with the matter has cited Russia's invasion of Ukraine as an impetus for the planning. Quote, Ukraine drove a relook at what the plans were, he said. So cool. All right, we're making the plans. We're building the factories. We're evacuating the Americans. Things are totally fine and normal, and nobody panic.
Yeah. We got Bill Gates to make the chips, so hey.
Yeah.
We're good now.
Save us.
We're good now. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, well, that's all hopefully not going to blow up anything. But there are other things that might blow up. COVID blow up?
Reassuring words.
That's a horrible
words.
segment.
COVID-19. 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 COVID-19.
Vaccination.
Ars Technica. J&J's COVID vaccine is dead in the U.S. FDA revokes authorization.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, nobody wanted it anyways, but revokes authorization just seems like just mean at this point.
Yeah, the Food and Drug Administration has withdrawn authorization for Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine, ending a short-lived but troubled existence of the pandemic. In a letter last week, the FDA's top vaccine regulator, Peter Marks of the Beast, wrote to Janssen Biotech, the Johnson & Johnson-owned Belgium-based company responsible for the vaccine, saying that the agency was revoking authorization. Marks opened the letter by noting that the withdrawal was at the request of the company. It says with the quote here, the last lots of the Janssen COVID-19 vaccine purchased by the U.S. government have expired. There is no demand for new lots of Janssen COVID-19 vaccine in the U.S., and that Janssen Biotech, Inc. does not intend to update the strain composition of this vaccine to address emerging variants. So off with you. No longer Johnson & Johnson. Step out of the way. Spurs coming to save everybody.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Why would you ask for revocation of your approval? It looks bad. I wonder if it seems like setting the stage for something else.
Johnson & Johnson is getting ready to go exclusively into the baby monitoring.
You got to be specific, Gons. It's Johnson & Johnson's Janssen.
Right. Janssen Johnson is pivoting to more. Sure. Okay. Anyway, so there you go. The Johnson & Johnson news here, which great. Look, I don't think anybody really cares. that nobody's going to care that Janssen & Johnson. You got me all jade up here. Speaking of Japan, Sayus, people in Japan who got used to face masks during COVID are getting smiling lessons.
It's so very Japanese.
What is such it very people's?
That's such a very Japanese thing. See, gotta go to smiling lessons. Tell me about this.
The people in Japan became so used to wearing face masks during the pandemic are signing for lessons to teach them how to smile again. While the coverings were already common in the East Asian country pre-COVID, with many using them to combat seasonal illnesses and hay fever, their use skyrocketed when it became official government guidance to wear them during the worst of the outbreak. Many people would be seen in public with masks, but the practice becoming universal after the virus emerged more than 3 years ago. The government having finally lifted its recommendation to wear masks in March, Himawari Yoshida was among those who realized they had rather forgotten how to go about life without them. Quote, I hadn't used my facial muscles much during COVID, said the 20-year-old.
Oh, 20-year-old.
What are you talking about, bro? What's his name? What's his name again? Himawari-kun. What are you doing? I want to grab his face. I want to slap his face. Just be like,
I'm surprised that this is just happening in March, just 2 months ago.
Well, it's Japan. They're very strict about all their stuff.
Yeah. But they were really early in a lot of the sort of counterfactuals when it came to things like the vaccine, things like transmission. A lot of the Japanese data was like kind of ahead of the curve as far as questioning the narrative. They stuck with the mask, I guess.
Yeah, and I just want to know I haven't used my facial muscles much during COVID. What are you not smiling at home? Are you not laughing?
No. What is there to smile about, Gons?
She's now hired service of a smile instructor, saying it's good
smile instructor. I could be a smile instructor.
Can you? With that googly-eyed mask there, no one can see your face.
Yeah. Well, see, there's two parts to a smile. There's the smile with the mouth, and then there's the smize, which is smiling with your eyes. So this is how we make the most money being smile instructors. I teach the mouth smile, and you teach the eyes, the smize. And then now they're paying for double lessons, and that's how we get out of godforsaken business.
Sorry, strategy. I could be an auditory smile instructor. Because you can hear when somebody's smiling or laughing.
Yes, that is true. So, big podcaster tip out there. They can hear when you're smiling.
Yeah.
She's now hired the services of a smile instructor, saying it's, quote, good exercise and will help her prepare to enter Japan's jobs market. That's nice.
Miss Yoshida and her classmates, mostly young people, are being taught by Keiko Kawano, who in one exercise has them hold up mirrors to their faces, stretching the sides of their mouth with their fingers.
Yeah, it's not sad at all. That's not sort of dystopian and horrible. In any sense. We're worried over that our kids haven't been very good at socializing at school. Yeah. In Japan, they have adults who have to push their face into a smile with their fingers in a professional education setting. I think we may have come out on top on this one.
Well, I don't think we reported on it, but about 10 years ago, Japan had this character that someone created, called Uterus Man, and it was like a woman's rights kind of character.
Okay.
And the idea was to promote more for the Japanese culture to have more children.
That was
the thing, because the population was declining. So it was 10 years ago.
Uterus Man.
Uterus Man, right? And then 10 years later,
Uterus
we have
Man being the best part of it.
Yeah. And then 10 years later, so I had the headline, I did it on Twitter. I had the headline of Uterus Man 10 years ago saying, trying to inspire people to have more children. And then the headline from the beginning of this year, 2022, largest decline in Japanese population. So Uterus Man failed.
Didn't work.
And now they don't even know to smile anymore.
Doesn't seem well suited for a job. Here's a quote. I think there's a growing need for people to smile, she said, noting growing return of tourists to the island. So it's not even like for personal gain. It's just, hey, get tourists coming to the island, okay? Everybody's got to smile, okay? We got to make these tourists happy. They spend the money. They're doing government-mandated smile training.
Oh, man. Do you remember, wasn't it Japan that had masks that were the faces of people that you can wear as part of during COVID? Wasn't it Japan that you can walk into a shop and get fake faces as part of your whole mask situation?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
So as is noted in the article, and maybe you can back up, they're talking about how culturally between the U.S. and Japan, like smiling is just different culturally, kind of as different, I don't know, things. It says, quote, culturally, a smile signifies that I'm not holding a gun and I'm not a threat to you, she added.
That's not true. Have you not seen the Joker? Hello?
It's a cultural thing, Gun. You wouldn't understand.
No, even in Japan. No, I'm sorry. Even in Japanese culture, you have your psycho man who's smiling as he chopped your head off with the katana. Like that. No, what is it? This person does not know what they're talking about. Fire. Well, get him fired.
Fire. I'm trying to understand American smiles. Like Japanese. I mean, you're right. Anime a lot of kind of scary smiling people. Maybe they're saying in America, a smile says, "I don't have a gun." I mean, that's a very American sort of thing.
That's not true.
Well, folks, we gotta be grateful for what we got. At least we can still smile.
At least we can still count to 33.
33 is the number complete of the good war.
Engadget.com. 33 Immortals. 33 Immortals. First look, defying a god is more fun with friends. Playing with 6 people was fun, but you'll be able to team up with 32. All the things, Basil. Have you ever struggled to bring together 4 folks for an Overwatch team? I have not had that exact struggle, but I am so old that I did the Xbox Halo tourneys, where you get 3 or 4 Xboxes into a house. You get all 13 guys. Yeah, LAN party. And you play some, 12, 13 people Halo. Sometimes the capture the flag,
Good old days.
Good old days. Tried to figure out how you and your friends can play Destiny 2 simultaneously. Can you imagine assembling 33 players for a 20-minute or 25-minute raid? 33 Immortals plans to do exactly that, channeling the animation style of retro cartoons and a little banner saga. 33 Immortals is was crossed out. I don't know why they crossed out. It's a substantially multiplayer roguelike top-down action game from the creators of Spiritfarer. At a session following this week's Xbox Showcase at Summer Game Fest, 5 fellow spirits and I tried to escape hell. In this early build of the game, there are 2 character types in play: a swordsman who could deal heavy close-range damage, and an archer who could send up to 3 arrows towards enemies before having to reload. I got to play as the latter. Alongside the standard attack, I could hold the action button to charge up a heavier piercing shot. The archer, when he reloads, recalls his fired arrows back to him, meaning strategic placement can effectively double damage dealt. All characters have also a dash move, while trigger buttons open your world map, emote, wheel, and co-op powers. Just go
get to the story.
The story is there's 33 Immortals, and you play it all together at the same time, and you battle God.
No, there's even more. That's the thing. If you're apparently a fallen angel, and you're fighting a...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go.
Yeah, go.
All right. You're not... Okay, so by the way, you're not quite mortal as you're either. You're taking too much damage, you'll fall and reappear as an ethereal spirit, not able to do anything but float around until another raider can resurrect you. Something that proves to be practically frustrating, or particularly frustrating in the middle of difficult fights. Naturally, it's just better if you fight more cautiously, heal your allies, and don't die. 33 Immortals is inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. You're rebelling against God's final judgment, that your soul is damned. And there's a fun twist in the way God delivers his anger when you beat one of his dungeons. As you step out of the portal, the ground opens, or the ground around you will get immolated in holy fire, and you have to dodge this and spawn enemies until God chills a little. This was an early demo. Latency was a struggle for my machine, but the team has plenty of time to stabilize and offer demos that are not in the middle of a Xbox showcase. I'm excited to play a roguelike as part of the mob, and I'm curious to see what other character types will be. 33 Immortals, 24.
So much game speed. Let me sum that up for everybody. Yeah, so this is the timing of this is interesting because recently Diablo 4 Diablo franchises always gets the attention.
Diablo.
Diablo.
I've never.
Are you wanting me to pronounce it in the Latin? The Diablo?
That's
what are you talking about?
Everybody. I've never heard anybody called Diablo.
It literally matters 0%.
It doesn't, but I'm just saying, nobody ever says Diablo.
Okay, so Diablo. Diablo 4 just came out. Big deal in the gamer folks. Whenever a Diablo game is out, it gets the attention of especially Christian because it's very sort of evil looking. Lots of demons, lots of references to demology, like actual, recorded demons, things like this. And there's this whole storyline. The thing with the Diablo games, which is interesting, is you actually are playing on God's side. Right. The whole point is you fight the demons. It's very, visually sort of demonic, but those are the bad guys. You're not a good guy. I'm sorry. The demons aren't the good guys. The demons are the bad guys. Right. So there's something to be said there.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you.
And at the same time, they're coming out with this one, which is like, yeah, it's kind of like Diablo, except for now you're fighting God, and you're sort of this angel-looking guy.
A group of 33 angels.
And you've got to fight God's demons and monsters. It's just kind of twisted and weird. I don't know.
Well, there is something to be said about.
It looks like a bad game, so I don't think anybody really needs to play it.
Sure. Well, yeah. There is something to be said about with God's judgment. For example, the locust that comes out of the pit, the bottomless pit, and stuff like that. It looks all creepy. That's part of God's judgment. So there is an element of the judgment of the God's wrath, the day of the Lord, being kind of a scary thing. So I can understand that, but also you're playing the characters that are trying to fight against it, people. Yeah. The names that are not written in the book of life, meaning maybe these are the 30 immortals that are, that have mark of the beast, trying to fight God's wrath. And
this game feels like it should have the attention of all the parents out there who don't want their kids to play Diablo. This is the one. Strange. Are you seeing all this chatter about the poor quality of the stream? Is there anything we can do about that?
I don't think so.
Apparently it's the worst it's ever been. Like
really?
It's yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's on our side or if that's on our restream side or if that's on the platform side. Apparently it's across all platforms. We're having big problems streaming. So apologies everybody that we couldn't get that fixed. Well, John's is moving offices, so hopefully the connections or whatever. There's so many layers of fault that it could be that we can't figure it out live. It's just is what it is. But it'll be better on the playback. It'll be better on the podcast version. So thank you very much. All right, guys, you were doing things a little bit different while I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do now? You take me through the show. I don't know what.
After the tone.
At the tone, please record message.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com on any of the pages at that website. There will be a green tab on the right side or bottom. Click on it, and it'll open a window that allows you to record an audio message in 90 seconds. If you have a private message for us, do let us know at the top of it so that we don't accidentally play a message with all your deep secrets that you're telling us live on here. We got something here from Crichton. Crichton gave a message.
Think outside the cage, man. Think outside the cage. Come on, man. We're here, guys. Come on. Think outside the cage. Keep up the good work on the show. Think outside the cage, buddy. Thank you. And please, maybe turn down the jingles just a little bit. But besides that, guys, come on. Let me hear it.
Thank you, Crichton.
Oh, such enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
I have a theory.
Okay.
You are Crichton.
Yeah, well, I'm not Crichton. Okay. Crichton is a unique individual.
Okay.
That is a child of God. And is living a complex and vibrant life. It's complex and vibrant in their own.
I'm thinking Crichton is some alter ego that was born while he was strapped to a bed for 34 days.
While the drugs were kicking. Yeah. Thank you, Crichton.
Thank you, Crichton. Appreciate it.
Any other speak pipe?
That's it. That's it for the speak pipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Go listen messages, folks.
Yeah, let's do some. Let's make some producers come in with their talent. And we appreciate people who come in with their talent. It helps build the culture behind the community here at Canary Newstalk. One of the ways you can do so is by providing some kind of audio production. And we have Little Owen, who sent us a song here. He's got a little note. Praise God for your recovery, Basil. I hope this song from Matthew 13 encourages some way. No matter how dark the world gets, God is good, and the Son of Man sows good seed. So here's a few seconds. I'll play the whole thing. It's about a couple minutes long, but we'll play the whole thing at the end of the show.
Kingdom of heaven is like a flame, so
sounds so good. I love it.
That's cool. That's a cool vibe. Thank you very much, little Owen.
Thank you, little Owen. Again, we'll play that at the whole thing at the end of the show. And go into the rotations. Thank you very much. That's it for audio production. You have some art.
One art, please.
And of course, comes from Sir Dove. Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia says, peace for today's artwork. Oh, what happened to the artwork? I thought I had it up here. For today's artwork, I did another thumbnail duo illustration. I hope you guys keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
This was great.
P.S. Dove, I'm sorry. P.S. I wanted to give a special shout out to Pojo, who just had birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Jojo.
Oh, happy birthday. I didn't know that.
Hold on,
it's good to know.
Wait. I'm not prepared for this, but we need to make sure that there's a birthday shout out that goes out to Poco Joe. Happy birthday, Poco Joe.
That's right. Happy birthday, Poco Joe. And with this, we've got Woke General Hospital, and we've got the background, which is sort of a photo of a hospital room. On the left-hand side, you've got Hospital Basil, very sad-looking, very emaciated, got the googly eyes, canary creature there, hooked up to an IV. Let's see what we got on this IV. Oh, that's nice. The IV logo is Medit 8. Meditate pain reliever.
Yeah.
Yes, referring to the nurse who told me to meditate because the best painkiller. That woman was taken off the team immediately. And on the right-hand side, we've got Dr. Gons. He's holding a clipboard from Woke General Hospital, Woke Health, form application and consent for surgery. Flippy gone, take that appendix. And down at the bottom there's signature line for me to sign. That's pretty much how it happened. Thank you very much, Dove. This is hilarious.
Another very subtle thing here on your gown. You look around the heart area.
Gown pattern.
Yeah, there's a googly eye just in there.
Love it. Dr. Gons, quite the smile on.
Well,
you must be quite the Americanized Japanese doctor.
I think I have a job calling for me in Japan, just teaching people how to smile again.
That's right. You could do surgery and teach them how to smile. Thank you very much, Sir Dove. This is wonderful.
Yes, thank you, Sir Dove. I am going to send to my mother and say, look, I became a doctor. That's all she wants.
She's going to be so proud. She'll be so proud.
Finally see me in the doctor's cut. All right. Thank you, Sir Dove. Okay. We have
Microfiction.
Microfiction, I believe. Yes.
Microfiction.
And it is from Rossmack. It goes as such.
The dastardly coyote slinks silently towards the coop, but tonight his meal will meet him with resistance he did not accept. As he nears the coop, a heroic tough feather starts out and starts pecking and scratching, but the ordeal is over too soon.
Action.
Yes, I see this ordeal has generated some inspiration for the next line of fictions. Thank you very much, Frank Smash.
Thank you, Smash.
Okay, real quick, Guns. I'll go through and thank some of the illustrious members of the Canary T-shirt Council who signed up while I was in the hospital there. I can tell you weren't pitching it very often. We only had a couple people sign up, but we appreciate it all the more. We're going to keep that deadline till Friday, folks. So if you don't know, if you haven't heard recently, the Canary T-shirt Council is a group of producers who are committed to supporting the show for $19.84 a month. And with that, they get help make decisions, the very important decisions that come with our quarterly Canary T-shirt. And of course, they will receive a Canary T-shirt as well. So we had a couple T-shirt Council members, as I like to refer them as the most important people in the world. You ready to thank them?
Yes. Absolutely.
First of all, we've got most important person in the world, Adrian A.
Adrian.
Thank you very much, Adrian. We've also got most important person in the world, Heather M.
Heather M.
That was very nice. Thank you, Heather M. Adrian A. And it's not too late, folks. Until I'll call it midnight on Friday. You can go to canarycryt-shirtcancel.com, sign up, support the show, and help us out with those T-shirts and start receiving them for free. And we've also got a wonderful group of Canary Cry Supply Drop members. The Supply Drop is a wonderful program where producers spend $33 a month to stick at the elites there for the show, and with that, they start receiving free shipments every quarter where we create awesome Canary Cry gear and send it out. It's been a real hoot and a half, and everybody loves it very much, including myself. It's an outlet for all the stupid ideas we have for merchandise. But this year is special because we'll be including DVD copies, hard copies. Now, look, we understand you can find Age of Deceit on the internet and places here that although it's disappearing. But if you'd like a hard copy that can survive any cyber pandemic or censorship or anything like that, that's the point of this, by the way. It's to future-proof the Age of Deceit series. That's right, the infamous documentary series by our favorite documentarian Guns. If you want copies, sign up for the Supply Drop. We'll be sending out all year. It'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Guns will be done with 4, and we'll be sending that out. You'll be the first round of people to have that. So go to canarycrysupply.com, sign up. It really helps us out. The Supply Drop members are a huge reason why we are surviving in this economy. And I'm going to run through people who signed up and thank them individually and together. You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Start off with Christopher B. Christopher B. We got Alberto G. Alberto G. Jaden G. Thank you, Jaden G. Lindsay B. Lindsay B. Thank you, Lindsay B. Terrell B. Thank you, Terrell B. Eric D. Eric D. Thank you, D. Brandon S. Brandon S. Switching up the sound of the last letter there. I've got Third Boothbender, Viking Knight. He's nice. Viking Knight. Thank you. We've got Kona H. Kona H. Ricardo G. Ricardo G. Thank you, Ricardo G. Wesley H. Wesley H. Thank you, Wesley H. Soha. Soha S. Soha S. Thank you, Soha. Ryan C. Ryan C. Almost there, folks. Ryan C. Thank you. We got IVE. IVE coming in. Thank you, IVE. And Paul S. Thank you, Paul. Paul S. Thank you. There you go. A nice, wonderful chunk of supply droppers there. We're getting the manufacturing is just about to begin. So if you want it in on the supply drop, if you were ever thinking about it, now's the time to do it, because once this starts, you don't want to come in when we're sending out agency 2, where's one? I don't know. So they go. CanaryCrestSupply.com. Thank you very much.
Yeah. When your supply drop.
Recalibrate jingle for other the shows. All right, is that it? Did we do it?
Real quick.
Canary meetup.
Yeah, CanaryMeetups.com. Go there and bit of feather. There's a new meetup that was added to the list, but it's not until October. It's October 14th. Canary Cry Meetup. It's a Saturday. It's the Slave to Servant Self-Reliance Festival, Camden, Tennessee.
That's great.
Servants from Escape Babylon, and that'll be a good time. So contact slave2servant@gmail.com.
It's at the Self-Reliance Festival. So they're doing a meetup at the festival. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, rattle.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to go on to Philadelphia here. I'm seeing we got Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, June 17th. That's this weekend.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I missed this. I didn't know this was going on. I just stopped for the show today. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Saturday, June 7th, 10 a.m., Cafe Nordstrom at the King of Prussia Mall. Contact Mr. Jag365 at citromail.edu. This is Mr. Jag, our Euro producer. He's from Hungary. He's tried so many times to do meetups, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But he's coming all the way to America. So I know for a fact we got a bunch of Pennsylvania Canarians. We got to get the Pennsylvania or tri-state area Canarians. Go meet up with Mr. Jag. He's all the way across the Atlantic. I would highly recommend, if you're in the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, let's get the Pennsylvania meetup cracking. Plus you'll get to meet Mr. Jag. Mr. Jag come so far to meet in Philadelphia. That's radical.
Yeah.
So there you go. Do it, East Coasters.
See you at the meetup.
It's summertime, and it's starting to get really hot in my office again. I'm going to have to start breaking out the ice vest. But is this where we're going to thank everybody and say goodbye?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. We got producers who produce this show in all sorts of ways. Time, talent, or treasure. We thank them all, except for those who are coming in with time to help us out. Now, we've had a lot of different programs on pause the past month. Wing Gun. Thanks to producers anyway, starting with our Clippies. Thanks. Emsworth, Faye, Liver, Jones, Laura are sitting waiting for a bet. I bet. Although, who knows? I need to check in with all them. But these are the Clippies who are committed to clipping the show, making it shorter, making it the segment more accessible, making them available on the Canary Cry Clips channel, Odyssey, and soon to come to Rumble, blah, 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 YouTube, blah,